Speaker. Whoop. Left. Peace. Present. Whoop.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'm Patricia Mitchell. It's my great honor and privilege to be the president and CEO of the Ordway. It's my even greater privilege to welcome you all here tonight to the newest corner of what we love to think of for the last 30 years as the city's living room. So thank you to this new, wonderful new part of the Ordway Center for the Performing Arts, which wouldn't be here at all if it were not for the support of the City of St. Paul and our featured speaker for the evening, Mayor Chris Coleman. I hope it will not be, maybe it's not the first time you've been here. I certainly hope it won't be the last time. As you will hear tonight, there are many wonderful kinds of music that will find their home here, and I hope you'll come and try them all. I'm also enjoined by Joe Spencer to remind you that not to suggest that you might want to get up and go out into the lobbies during the mayor's speech, but at any point after that, if you felt like going out to acquire a beverage and coming back into the concert would be something you would want to do, one of the new things about the Ordway is now you can bring your drinks in, so feel free to do that. Gradually, we're kind of inching into the next century before it's over. It's now my great pleasure to introduce the president of the City Council and the representative of Ward 4, Russ Stark.
Well, thank you very much, Patricia, and thanks so much to the Ordway for hosting us this great event tonight. Hello, everyone, and thanks for coming to tonight's State of the City address. I should say the state of the city of the best city in this great state. We will start off the evening with one of St. Paul's greatest treasures, the globally renowned group of musicians for whom this very concert hall was built. It's my honor to present to you the St. Paul Chamber Orchestra performing Bach's Brandenburg No. 3.
very happy to be. Oh, excuse me. We're very happy to be here. When Mayor Coleman's office asked the SBCO if they could borrow our hall for tonight, we said, well, only if you let us play something for it. And we're eternally grateful to the mayor for his incredible work to get this hall built. It's safe to say it wouldn't be here without his efforts. So we're so grateful, and please enjoy Box Brandenburg number 3.
Wow. Kudos to the mayor's staff and the mayor for thinking of bracketing tonight's speech with great music on both ends. I think that's a marvelous idea. And thank you to the SPCO for that wonderful performance. Great things are happening in St. Paul today. I don't have to tell all of you that. You all know. Housing prices have recovered and stabilized. Investment in the city is booming. We're growing in population and in jobs. People and businesses want to be in the city of St. Paul. One of the greatest things about our city, though, is that we are always working to get better. While national and state politics are about diverging ideas and polarized points of view right now, in St. Paul, we have a convergence of thinking around a common set of goals, including, for the most part, between the mayor and the city council. While we often debate the finer points of how to achieve our shared vision, that civil debate leads to better outcomes. There's a really important discussion going on in every corner of our community right now about racial disparities in outcomes and opportunity. As a city that is 40% people of color, and when more than 70% of our kids in our school district are kids of color, this is a critically important conversation that is and must continue to lead to collective action and real progress. Our continued success as a city depends on it. Our convergence of ideas on this topic is an important starting point, but we also must begin working toward a convergence of experiences in St. Paul between people from all walks of life. It's truly an honor for me to have a chance to introduce the mayor tonight. His leadership on these important issues has helped create that convergence of thinking about where St. Paul stands today and where we must go as a city. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Mayor Chris Coleman.
Thank you, Russ. Thank you. After 10 State of the Cities of Kathy Lantry introducing me, it's nice to have the understudy finally be able to step up and play his role. Russ is a great partner and a great leader for the council, and I want to thank him for his work as president of the St. Paul City Council. I was also going to say some nice things about Dave Thune because this was going to be Dave's last official State of the City as his role as a council member, although he had said that before and came back onto the council. But unfortunately, Dave is sick this evening and so wasn't able to join us. But we do have a new member of the St. Paul City Council. Not his first rodeo, not his first State of the City address, but we're so pleased to have a council member and former Chief Bill Finney with us this evening. Thank you, Bill. This is the worst intermission ever between some great music, but I do appreciate the St. Paul Chamber Orchestra. They have a gig in Stillwater this evening, so they're off to that. But I also want to thank all the partners that made this evening possible in this hall. First of all, the Chamber Orchestra, the Schubert Club, the Minnesota Opera Company, and of course the Ordway Center for the Performing Arts. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all the work that you do for our community. In 2006, I stood before the people of St. Paul in my first State of the City address and asked for our community to seize the moment to move our city forward. Quoting Holocaust survivor Elie Wiesel, I said, "There comes a time when we must make a choice between repeating ourselves and choosing to grow." I ask that we intentionally implement our dreams for St. Paul and propel our city forward with energy, inclusiveness, and focus. There were many opportunities on the horizon, but few items were fixed into the city's future. In the first State of the City address, I called for passage of state bonding to support the work here at the Ordway, not to build this great space, but to simply fix the old stage and to have energy-efficient windows installed. The Central Corridor faced 1,001 obstacles. The deteriorating Midway Stadium was acknowledged as a substandard home of the Saints, but no solution had been envisioned. The need for a structured, out-of-school time system of learning opportunities had been identified in a gathering of nearly 300 people in December of 2005. But what was then known as the Second Shift Advisory Commission was little more than a concept. Today, the path our city chose is clear. This beautiful hall provides the home that our world-renowned St. Paul Chamber Orchestra has deserved for decades. The Green Line opened to much fanfare and an immediate flood of riders last June. CHS Field has already hosted Hamlin baseball and soon will host the first Saints game. Now more than 90 organizations are part of our formal out-of-school time network we today know as Sprockets. There's so much for our city to celebrate. Our population is growing, graduations are up for all of our children, crime is down. We once again earned a AAA bond rating. There's renewed vitality in neighborhoods across the city. Property values are rising. Investment in the city is at an all-time high. Arts and cultural amenities are bringing back nightlife into downtown. And of course, the Minnesota Wild are in the playoffs. So today I offer this year's State of the City address as a toast to all we have accomplished this last decade, to the dreams realized, to the promises fulfilled, to a renewed, vibrant, and growing St. Paul. I say cheers. The plans we've made, the partnerships we forged, the actions we took have led to a strong St. Paul. We're a city to which businesses want to move. Moventus, a Finnish wind energy manufacturer, is bringing green jobs to the Beacon Bluff Business Center. We've recently cut ribbons on new or expanded businesses like Redpath, ThisClicks, TKDA, KLJ, Engineering, and GovDocs, Public Kitchen, Afro Deli, Urban Growler, Legacy Chocolates, 11 Wells, Revival Beer and Spirits, so much to celebrate. And today, Ecolab renewed their commitment to downtown. And I'm excited to confirm the oft-rumored plans that Ecolab will purchase Travelers North Tower, bringing their downtown employees in together in a wonderful and fast-growing Fortune 500 company. I want to thank Ecolab Chairman and CEO Doug Baker for his commitment to the city of St. Paul. And I also want to thank travelers who also commit to the future of the city of St. Paul, and they will continue to have over 2,000 employees at their downtown campus. St. Paul is open for business. In 2014, the city's Department of Safety and Inspections issued building permits representing $715 million worth of activity, nearly double what we saw 5 years earlier. That translates into a lot of women and men working and providing for their families. Securian continues to thrive as they transition from the incredible leadership of Bob Senkler to our new great partner, Chris Hilger. Plans are underway for new hotels and new housing. Health Partners is poised to break ground on a new 4-story neuroscience center on Phelan Boulevard, the largest freestanding neuroscience center in the upper Midwest and one of only a few in the country. This builds on the dream. This builds on the dream that Councilmember Bostrom has so faithfully pursued for the Phelan Corridor for over 20 years. And the brand new East Side Enterprise Center is abuzz with entrepreneurs making it happen on East 7th. And the Wild are in the playoffs. The Wild getting into the playoffs is the result of a season of hard work. And yet just getting to the playoffs, as we all know, is not enough. Instead, we're anticipating a parade down West 7th in celebration of Lord Stanley's Cup coming to our city. Similarly, hard work over these past years has positioned our city well for future growth and development, greater vitality, more jobs, more residents, and more visitors than ever before. So let's celebrate, yes. But now we must double our efforts across the city to finish the work that remains. In downtown, Macy's, the West Publishing Building, the Gateway Parcel, and other opportunities must be seized. The West Side Flats, Victoria Park, Beacon Bluff, Whirlpool, Hafner's, and other sites across the city must be developed. And along the Green Line, we must fulfill the promise of a first-class transportation system by redeveloping the former Bus Barn site and the Midway Shopping Center at Snelling and University. In neighborhoods across the city, our investments will continue to strengthen and anchor existing institutions, while paving the way for new housing to be built and entrepreneurs to build their dreams. Next month, I am excited to announce that we will select the first 2 neighborhood commercial nodes to receive a combined $700,000 in commercial Vitality Zone funding. Established as part of our 880 Vitality Initiative passed by the Council this last October, this resource will work to create jobs, expand tax base, and increase vitality in selected neighborhoods. I look forward to working with the HRA and their chair, Amy Brenmoen, and other members to work to make sure that this works across the city of St. Paul. Whether it's a neglected or an abandoned commercial strip or an empty lot, we know that there are numerous parcels in the city of St. Paul that can be put to higher and better use. I've requested the city's Planning and Economic Development Department to take the lead, to reach out to our community partners, especially our district councils, to identify key parcels in each of their districts that can become future recipients of commercial Vitality Zone grants or other funding sources. The goal, of course, is to help create 21st century vital neighborhoods across the city of St. Paul. And of course, we can't talk about economic growth without discussing the Ford site, which continues to be the greatest redevelopment opportunity this region has ever seen. Recently, Councilmember Tolbert and I led a delegation of community leaders to Europe to study redevelopments in Germany, Denmark, and Sweden. There was a great deal of information downloaded during that week. But to a person, the true value of the trip was to instill in each of us a resolve to not think small. Noted city planner Daniel Burnham once said, "Make little plans, for they have no power to stir man's blood." The developer of the airport site in Berlin, Dr. Philipp Boutier, told us to give the property a higher purpose. We can't simply look at the site and say, let's build X number of housing units or create Y number of jobs, without first understanding how we will truly transform that land into a 21st century community, an accomplishment that people from across the globe will come to study. In that sense, it can truly be a field of dreams. But this same sense of purpose must be applied to every corner of our city. We describe ourselves as the most livable city in America, but what's behind that phrase? We'd have a long ways to go to become the most musical city in America. Austin and Nashville have a pretty good head start on us. But as we demonstrate tonight, we can and should be mentioned alongside them as one of the great music cities of America. A world-class orchestra. Great young artists that you'll see tonight, like Jeremy Messersmith and Chastity Brown. And go out and get a drink and come back immediately. You don't want to miss them. The talented group of musicians who came out of Central High School and formed High Respects. A young and rising star like Dem Atlas. And folks like Solomon, who you heard play the national anthem, who share their talents with so many young musicians in the city. He tried desperately to teach me how to play the trumpet. It may be his only failure in life. Music is more than a series of notes. Music is a pathway to a stronger, more vital community. We can say that we want to be the most sustainable city in America. That's a title I would gladly engage in a fight with cities across the globe. Indeed, if cities across the globe and across this country strove to be the most environmentally conscious city on the planet, we'd actually start seeing the long-term changes required to combat climate change. Here in St. Paul, we have a lot to brag about on that front. The passage of a comprehensive bike plan, which reflects the biggest investment in bike infrastructure in the history of the city. Xcel Energy Center was certified as one of the greenest convention centers in the entire world. Our St. Paul Regional Water Surface was visited last week by the EPA chair. It's nationally recognized for its water quality and safety. And the new CHS field will be among the greenest ballparks in the country, including an innovative system to capture and reuse rainwater for the field and some of the facilities, a model recycling program, and solar panels to help power the scoreboard. We can say that we're the most educated city, for that's certainly true for many residents. We have one of the most well-educated workforces in the country, with high school graduation rates and college degrees well above national averages. But that wouldn't honestly reflect the fact that too many of our children are falling behind, and that the Twin Cities is a community with one of the largest achievement gaps in the country. Recently, an article in the Atlantic Monthly spoke of the Minneapolis miracle. Of course, the real miracle was that it even mentioned St. Paul. But the article did a great job of talking about the very special community we have in the Twin Cities. And much of the reason we do have the quality of life that we have is the result of intentional strategies put in place decades ago to make sure that all parts of our region thrived. But while the miracle is true for some, it's not for all. We have an amazing region, home to more Fortune 500 companies per capita than any place outside of New York, world-class colleges and universities, a richness of arts and cultural amenities, low unemployment rates, a natural environment that belies the fact that we live in a metropolitan area of nearly 3.5 million people, and of course, the Wild are in the playoffs. With all this as our base, the higher purpose for our city and region must be to ensure that that which is best about our community is shared by all within our community. Daniel Burnham also said, "Aim high in hope and work." And so we must aim high, and aim not to narrow the achievement gap, but to close it. Aim not to reduce disparities in income and in employment and in housing and in healthcare, but to eliminate them. Aim to create a 21st century community, not just at the Ford site, but in every corner of this city. These lofty goals we set for ourselves have never been idle chatter. Several years ago, we set out to develop a new approach to education and family stability in the Frogtown and Summit University communities. Under the banner of the St. Paul Promise Neighborhood Initiative, with inspiration drawn from the Harlem Children's Zone, we began our work. The Promise Neighborhood partners rolled up their sleeves, reached out to over 600 families to help shape the work, and proceeded to build a network of support for children and families that is showcasing how to stop talking about closing the achievement gap and actually moving the needle in the right direction. In all 3 schools within the Promise neighborhood, improvements in test scores have significantly outpaced state and district averages. In fact, at Jackson Elementary School, students made an 8% gain on state achievement test scores compared to the state's 1% gain. Equally compelling is the fact that there is no significant gap in achievement between one racial group and another. This is in a school that became a neighborhood school through the district's Strong Schools, Strong Communities plan. 85% of the students at Jackson now come from the surrounding neighborhood, as opposed to 5% prior to the Strong Schools, Strong Communities implementation. There are so many partners to thank. Councilmember Tao, who continues the work that Councilmember Carter started, the Wilder Foundation, which has taken the lead. But I want to extend a special thanks to a very special partner who is retiring this year after years of serving children in this community. Billy Collins from the YWCA has been an amazing partner for us. Thank you, Billy. I know we're not losing you. You just aren't going to get paid now. We sought to aim high and hope and work when we began our out-of-school time network, now known as Sprockets. From the original dream to a network that today connects over 90 organizations with 20,000 youth participants, we can now measure the reach of out-of-school time learning and draw powerful connections between these programs and progress in school achievement. I'm proud to announce that 83% of the out-of-school time participants this past year were kids of color, compared to 67% of kids in the district. 80% of the participants were from low-income households. We are moving the needle. We placed a great deal of emphasis on solving one of the most monumental challenges before our city, racial inequality. At the root of much of our work, directly through the My Brother's Keeper initiative or indirectly through the expansion of our Youth Summer Jobs program, the work that we do in St. Paul must move our city to a place where all our families thrive, regardless of race or socioeconomic status. Because we started with the dream of an equitable community, the Central Corridors Funders Collaborative committed to making the Green Line a true corridor of opportunity. Another one of those key partners is also retiring. Polly Talon has been an amazing leader for us through the Knight Foundation, and we want to thank her for her leadership on making sure the Central Corridor was equitable. Because equity is at the heart of our work, we have walked side by side with Catholic Charities and its leader, Tim Marks, to make sure we build both shelter and opportunity in the heart of our city for those experiencing homelessness. Mayor Hodges and I have dedicated our communities to the special task of ensuring, by the end of this year, that no veteran is without a home. We have 259 days to go, and at last count, there were 154 homeless veterans on our registry. Through the committed work of a team of 20 agencies and advocates who meet every 2 weeks, we're on a pace to meet our goal, but we need the support and the help of the community. If you know a veteran who's homeless, or a landlord who would be willing to rent to a veteran, please call 888-LINK-VET, and someone will be there to help. Another leader that has led on this effort has been another person retiring this year. Carlene Rhodes, through her leadership of the St. Paul Foundation, has brought clarity of purpose and resolve to the work of ending homelessness in St. Paul and across the state, and I want to thank her for her leadership. Because we wanted to end disparities in employment, we started an innovative program to train low-income residents and people of color to become paramedics through the EMS Academy. You may recall, if you've been to other State of the Cities, that a few years ago I highlighted one remarkable young man a few years back, Donnell Gibson. Well, we were right about Donnell. A few weeks ago, while driving to the Rice Recreation Center where he works with kids, Donnell noticed smoke coming out of a St. Paul home. With his training in mind, he leapt into action and rescued the family inside. Donnell's here with us tonight, and I want to give him a special round of applause. Because we're committed to equality and equity for everyone, CHS Field will be among the most accessible buildings in all of sports. With 180 specially designed seats for people with limited mobility and twice the required spaces for people in wheelchairs, there will be greater access for people of all abilities to enjoy the Saints in downtown St. Paul. And because I'm committed to ending the achievement gap once and for all in our schools, I've stood strongly in support of the district's Strong Schools, Strong Communities plan. I know that this level of change is difficult, but ask any CEO in any private sector, nonprofit, or governmental organization how to execute change. They'll tell you that you must persist in the face of doubt, or change will not occur. It's not to say that courses can't be corrected, but the goal cannot change. In this case, the goal we seek is a world-class education for all. If we don't want these words to ring hollow, we must commit ourselves to the hard work that will get us there. Connie and I proudly raised our 2 children in the St. Paul Public Schools. We recognize the challenges, but we also saw the richness of their educational experience. Every child in the city deserves that experience, and it won't happen unless all of us are committed to the goal and willing to make that change. We're a city rich in so many ways. There's our great park system, soon to be enhanced by improvements at Rice Park and a new vision for Dickerman Park at University in Fairview, which is a key to fully realizing the possibilities of the Green Line. By the end of this year, our incredible libraries will have seen $15 million in renovation and expansion over the last 3 years, including $7.5 million from private sources, plus an additional $14 million that went to build the Arlington Hills Community Center, an anchor among the revitalizing Payne Avenue corridor. And of course, there's arts and music and culture, and richness rarely seen in communities our size. Tonight, we're in this beautifully, newly dedicated hall. But that great strength that the arts community brings can be seen in the sidewalks of our city, because Christine Potus Larson and the city's artists in residence had a vision to add simple beauty and grace through poetry in concrete. I'd like to, if you're sensing a trend, I'd like to thank Christine, who is also retiring this year. After 28 years of leading public art St. Paul, I was going to say we're going to miss her vision and her support, but I know she's also not going away, and she will continue to prod us to do better for the arts community in this city. I'm also excited by the Minnesota Museum of Art's plans to establish its permanent home in the Pioneer Endicott building. Their national treasure of a collection, including works by Paul Manship and George Morrison, will now be on display for visitors and residents to view. At the renovated Turf Club, musicians old and new are filling the Green Line with great songs and inspiring new generations of performers. We continue to build out amenities like the Palace Theater that will open in 2016. Como Dockside will soon be filled with walkers and bikers coming to hear great music and sample exciting Cajun food. And if you don't have plans after tonight's event, slide over to the Hill Library to hear the Real Phonic Radio Hour. Or go over to the XL. On that giant screen, you'll be able to watch the Wild game, because in case you haven't heard, they're in the playoffs. In June, the Jazz Festival will be bigger and better than ever, including a performance by Dr. John at CHS Field. Support these festivals. Help them grow. The visitors that we draw for those events today will be the future employee, employer, or resident of the city of St. Paul. Let's continue to build on the vibrant arts and culture of our city. Let's marshal our collective resources and our creative energy to build a crescendo to 2016, which tonight I am officially declaring the Year of Music in the city of St. Paul. Let's make sure that every child in our city experiences live music, now and in 2016. Let's make sure that our musical venues and artists are supported and celebrated in 2016 like never before. Let's do this because it reflects our higher purpose and because culture and music and vitality are intricately and inextricably linked. We're a great city. The state of St. Paul is strong, but it will be stronger when all share in its richness. We've accomplished a great deal this past decade. Let's keep the momentum going. Tonight we celebrate. I offer up our shared work together in celebration of all we have accomplished. And what better way to celebrate than great music? So enjoy. Cheers. And thank you for being a part of this incredible city.